the East Chapel Hill Rotary Club will now come to order. Today, my Lord, January 16, 2026. My name's Bob Slater. I'm your Sergeant at Arms for today. Do we have any guests this afternoon? We do.
Nelson Brown, very important person. We're glad to have him here.
Judy, you've got a guest.
I've got two guests.
Two guests.
I've got Betsy Harris, former, past, 10 minutes ago, president of the local Chamber of Commerce. She's joining us today. And we have Fort Bennett, who is second visit, and he owns Westport Wealth Management.
Is that the group that advertises on the Tar Heel basketball games? Or no? No. We're the Wealth Management. Okay. Very good. Good to have you both. All of you. So let's get the fine basket going around. Looks like, right where? Oh, yeah. So, please put $1 in the fine basket if, without checking your phone, you know how many tests there are in the rotary four-way test. If you don't know the answer to how many tests are in the rotary four-way test, without checking your phone, keep your $1 in your pocket, because you're likely to need it. All right, in the 8 to 10 minutes I have with you today, I have a topic that I hope is of at least passing interest. And that is how to build wealth in 3 steps. And so, I realize there's prodigious wealth in this room already. You're not interested in the topic for yourself. You could teach your children and grandchildren, but you don't have to support them forever. And also, if we all build our net worth, we can give even more generously to club projects. We can give more generously to the club's foundation, says Nick Padura, and we can give to the Rotary International Foundation, which, as you probably know, is a 5-star charity navigated charity. It's terrific. So we're gonna hit this topic in 8 minutes. 3 secrets. Normally, I'd have to whisper this because it's a top secret stuff. But I'm at the moment it's gonna stay in this room. So step number 1, you got to get started early. So that's too late for many of us. So again, not for our kids eventually. So why do you need to get started early? Because it's the doublings later in life that really matter. If you earn an 8% return on your money, it'll double in 9 years. So if you start at 22 and you put in 10 grand and never put in another dime, by the time you turn 78, you have $650,000. If you waited to start until you're 40, you have about 20% of that. And it's because it's the later doublings that matter. And if you don't believe me, apparently 96% of Warren Buffett's wealth was earned after age 65. He's lived forever, but he had these humongous numbers he kept doubling. But if you're getting better than an 8% return on your money, you're doubling faster than 9 years, and I suspect he was. So, start early. The problem for most of us, like myself, is to path money. You have to have some. So for our kids, we've got to teach them. It's not a consumption rule. You've got to decide that you're a saver, not a spender. And it's a mentality that starts early in life, and it's hard to change it. So here we go. Confucius says, to build net worth, you must spend less than you make. I'm not sure Confucius said that. Seems like something he might have said. So I was in London and I saw this on the tube. Here's your credit card on your side, 22% interest. It's not on your side. That's a little bit of a secret. Your credit card is not on your side. This was taken about 6 years ago. What's the rate on your credit card today if you don't take it off every month? Anybody know? 28%. They're rivaling the mob. Pretty soon the mob and the MasterCard are going to have to pick it up. Who has more big? Okay. The richest, this is a sexist pig who wrote this book, obviously. The richest man in Babylon. We're much more enlightened than Rotary. The richest person in Babylon. We'll cut him some slack. The book was written in 1926. Anybody know what the secret is of the richest person in Babylon? Take your first 10% of every paycheck and save it. You say, well, that's great, but at the end of the month, I won't have the money to pay the power company. To which the answer is, you'll figure that out, but if you don't pay yourself first, you never will. So where do you find money? For most of us, you gotta earn it, but you could inherit it. But the exciting thing is, once it starts building momentum on its own, if you reinvest it and don't pull it out and spend it, it really has power there. Okay, so that's the first one. This is an important slide. I'm going to give you the executive summary. But the second step is you've got to actually do something with the money you invest. So you all know the parable of the 3 servants in the Bible. The 3rd servant buried the money. So this is if you put $100 in every month for 30 years. And at 0 returns, you buried the money in your backyard. And so at the end of a year, you have $1,200. $100 a month times 12. At the end of 30 years, you have whatever it is, $36,000. But if you could earn a mere 4%, your money almost doubles. But if you could earn 8%, at the bottom, it's a 2.2 times multiple versus 4. But look at the returns if you get the 10, 12, 16, 20%. 20% is very difficult to achieve. But this just shows you that if you can earn more money on your money, it makes a massive difference. Some of you know this, the rule of 72. If you take 72.73 and divide it by the return you think you can get, it'll tell you the number of years it takes you to double your money. So we saw already that an 8% return, it takes 9 years. But if you earn 4% on your money, and remember, 10-year treasuries were below 1% not long ago. If you earn 4% on your money, it's going to take you 18 years. But look, if you could earn 12%, it's 6 years. So it's really important that you learn something. These are arbitrary money numbers that I pick and I give them to my students. But to me, anything 3 or less is dead money. And for a lot, you had to take some risk to do better than that on my back. And I'd like to see people making 7%, 10%, 11 to 20 if you can. So you're going to have to do that through one of 4 things: stocks, real estate, businesses, royalties. I get, for example, $4.35 every quarter. It's the best seller that I get. Brian bought it. Thank you, Brian. You're my only I can give you these slides if you're interested, but most Americans don't understand that if you buy a stock and it goes down 50%, they think it's got to go back up 50%. It's got to be what? 100%. Double. Exactly. Very good. And so the math works all the way up and down the line, but that's the problem. So I love Buffett's probably had a million things attributed to him that he never said. A lot of them you hear. His rule number 1 is never lose money. And that's complete nonsense. Nobody who's invested has never not lost money. You can't sail a sailboat if you don't have a tip in it. I mean, if you're going to get in the game, you're going to lose some money, but you got to make sure it's not devastating to you. And the last and final step is try to avoid or defer taxes. This isn't a political statement. It's simply that it's your single biggest expense, and every dollar that you pay in taxes is a dollar you can invest. There is a judge by the name of Learned Hand, who's very famous. He said, you have no patriotic duty to structure your affairs to benefit the U.S. Treasury. If you pay the minimum that you owe, that's legal, that's all you need to do. So the next time you're charged with tax fraud, I urge you to use that quote. I hear it all the time. You can Google it, Justice Learned Hand is here support. So I leave you with this thought, and then I'll turn it over to Felix. Does success make you happy, and happiness permits you to be generous, or is it the flip? You're a generous person anyway, you're happy, and happy people are more likely to be successful. I leave you to ponder that weighty matter. Mr. Felix, you're on. Thank
Thank you both for that. Good afternoon. It's good to see you. I was telling Governor Lisa that East Chapel Hill really loves her. I mean, look at the number. Look at how many people showed up. We actually had to add an extra table today. Seriously. So, thank you for coming. We have some few quick announcements before we get to the program. Let's start with Alan Young.
The Valentine's Love Extravaganza is back! We started in 2019, I think it was, or 18. Don Heineman and I and Felix and Matt, is Matt here? Arnold and Diane Smith and Delight Allen. Do you remember Delight Allen, Dancing Brick House? Well, good news is we have Bill Bolin here to keep the show going. We have at least 2 singers, one of whom is professional coming. And then we have a number of you who have volunteered with a range of talents. But we could still use a few more. And don't be shy, and don't run away when I try. A number of you have tried not to make eye contact. But thank you for those of you who are.
Alan, as a singer who's a professional singer who's coming, what is he or she professional at?
And you're going to be the humorist. Okay. I am told by our producer that we will need to know by February 1st if you'll be able to join us, and hopefully your partner will also be able to join us, but also come single. I came single for many, many years and always had a good time.
And we'll send something out so they can watch you.
And we're going to be at the Carolina Club Friday the 13th at 12:30, just normal time. We're going to make the Friday the 13th lucky.
Thank you. Alan, I think I'll try the stand-up comedy.
The routine.
Who else? Karen?
Hey everyone, we have these lovely new bowls, and although they seem to be sustainably produced, they are not compostable by Orange County standards. They just, commercial facility to operate longer at higher temperatures. So please, all bowls as well as all cups is trash.
Thank you, Karen. Monday, as you know, we have a big day, MLK. Christy, do you want to give us an update?
Yes, thanks to everybody who signed up. If you signed up, go ahead and print off that waiver form and bring it with you. Otherwise, it's going to take a long time at registration. But thank you so much for doing that. And if you were unable to sign up because it was already full, you can still bring non-perishable goods, canned meats, shelf-stable milk, canned vegetables, low sodium, please, if you can. Just bring them by Christ United Methodist Church in Southern Village between, say, noon and 3. There'll be people there a little before and after, but those will be the main hours. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Christy. Before I introduce our governor, Linda, I'll give you this opportunity to just walk us through all our service projects. Linda?
Sounds good. Thank you, Felix.
So good afternoon. As the former queen of talking trash, I thought it was important to bring my grip and grab, and then also share with you a little bottle of whiskey. We have Bourbon Bill as a member of our club, and probably the youngest 90-something-year-old who I know who loves to go out and collect trash. So thank you, Bourbon Bill. Please come up and accept your bottle of whiskey. I think he's down to 2 bourbons a night, or at least that's what Carol told me at the Christmas party. So I have the pleasure of giving an update in terms of what we've been doing with some of our service activities and service projects. And I will try to flip through it pretty quickly. So let's start with by the numbers. And this is the interactive part of where we are. So anyone want to take a look at one of those numbers and suggest what it represents? This is not a shy group, I know. How about the $650,000?
Teacher supply store.
Teacher supply store. You know, we have, this is one of the club's signature projects, and we have been doing this for the last 19 years. And we have raised and contributed more than $650,000. And that is an incredible accomplishment, so congratulations to all of you for making that difference. How about the thousands?
Bikes.
Say that again?
Bikes.
Thousands of bikes, great. So we have bike night, right, every year. And in fact, the 75 was the number of bikes that we contributed in partnership with the Chapel Hill Service League to children who might not otherwise have had the opportunity to get bikes. And then they were also well equipped with helmets. And Lida helped lead that charge. And over the years we have, and over the years we have contributed thousands of bikes. Anything else? How about scores? Any thoughts on that? This Hanky, you should be chiming in on this.
How many times some of these guys are scored?
Well, there could be basketball scores. So, solar panels. You might remember when Liz joined Rotary 5 years ago, and she came in with an energy and a force about, you know, what am I going to do as a retiring cardiologist? And I said, you know, come to Rotary with me. We've got this green team where we're really interested and passionate about doing things and protecting our environment, supporting the environment and other people. And so Liz, with her energy and passion, got us all started on solar panels in partnership with Habitat for Humanity. So Jennifer Player, who's one of our fellow Rotarians and CEO of Habitat for Humanity Orange County, you know, we've partnered and we now have over 28 houses, Habitat houses that have solar panels on them. And they are saving on average $750 a year in electricity for the residents. So pretty amazing. Any other number? Absolutely. Thank you, Toby. Any other number, and then we'll move on here.
The 12 times is how many times we service table and load groceries.
Well done. 12 times a year. So Bob Ostrom introduced the idea of, boy, could we work at Table in partnership with Table and volunteer to help package food for families and children who are in need. And so we kicked this off. He kicked it off for us after Felix said, yay, verily, this sounds like a great service project for us. We kicked that off at the beginning of last year. And we meet once a month, and for those who are interested, to help package food. Now that has grown to twice a month because I think we have both a morning and an evening. So the 12 times is for Table, and then 12 times also for the SECU Family House, which we serve on the third Thursday of each month. And in fact, we just had a SECU Family House dinner last night. Well, I better speed ahead or I'm going to get the hook here, I know. So just to give you an idea, these are the range of service projects that we are currently either leading, participating in, contributing to in some fashion. If there's one that we might have missed, it's David Pator's fault. It's not my fault. He's my partner in crime for co-chairing service projects this year. Well, let's go through a quick visual journey on some of our service projects. So the SECU Family House, I don't see Joe Jenkins here today, but we have enjoyed serving Family House, have members of our own families, so you can see Erica with two of her daughters joining us here. We have Charles and Lois Lee. So it really is a family effort. And then when you see this one on the right-hand side, you'll see Claire, who happens to be one of the interactors benefactors from the East Chapel Hill Rotary Club who comes and joins us probably 4 or 5 times each year. We typically serve between 65 and 85 people for Family House. And then we have Teacher Supply Store, our signature project. And Tim Smith, our former president, is our lead for this. And this year, we serve over 956 teachers for Teacher Supply Store. And here you'll see a couple of people unpacking, so Mike McMillan and Lorenzo unpacking or deboxing. Tim, smart guy, he likes to surround himself with brunettes. Good-looking brunettes too, right? And then Phil. You can always count on Phil working with Allison Worthy, the former president of the Public School Foundation. Litter pickups. Well, as the former queen of talking trash, I was delighted to pass the baton. And Vince, this is now your official grip and grab baton as our new king of talking trash. So we do this quarterly, and you'll see we've been fortunate in having the mayor join us several times. In this picture, Vince's daughter, Annika, joined us. It's a fun group, it's a fun way to spend time together, just get to know each other, support the environment, support the community. And we do have some characters in this group. We also have some cute characters. So this was from our litter pickup, I think it was back in September or October. And Jonathan brought his 2 children who were just incredible. Now let me ask you, what do you think was the one most interesting, most unusual, most fascinating item that was picked up last year? Oh my gosh, you are so right. Brian Keeliff and his team discovered this. Thank goodness they had the safety latch on because it was loaded. And Brian and Jim Robles, remember Jim Robles? They thought, well, maybe we'll try to shoot it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, Brian's uber intelligent wife, Moira, was there, and she said, I'm calling 911. So we have a good time, and here are a couple more of the smiles from litter pickups. Then we do the youth programs. We've got Nick Vaughn and Lorenzo. I don't think I see either of them here today, but clearly they're doing some incredible things. We've got Interact programs with 2 of the high schools, local high schools. Last year we've had 8 Rylas and several more that we look forward to this year. Solar. Now I saw Liz. Liz, are you here? Is she stepping out? Is she avoiding? Dr. Hankey. Okay, so I already mentioned that Liz really started this key initiative, and Lisa, you mentioned passion. This is huge passion. These are just some pictures of solar panels. And then Tom Shea vectored off and said, why don't we do some house plantings too? So we've done some house plantings. Then we've done some habitat builds, which is a wonderful time to appreciate how many nails you need to pull out because they're not going in straight. We introduced tech recycling, and Karen Levine kicked this off 3 years ago. This was getting just technologies, old technologies, encouraging people to bring them. We got the word out, a lot of people delivered them. We had not 1, but 2, and last year was our 3rd year. This was another family affair, because you see David Bedore on the left and then his daughter in the middle. Table. So we've got Bob Ostrom. I mentioned Bob was the one who started this. You know, this is vectored off not only for serving and filling bags with food, but Bob and Liz have also said, how can we readapt this opportunity and maybe look at putting solar panels on the roof that will help with the electrical bills. So just some fun pictures. Oh, I'll tell you, this is a fun picture in particular. The picture on the right, you see the two Judys? Do they look guilty or what? When you think about, oh, they dropped a bunch and pushed a bunch of things off. One of the new initiatives that we had that a friend of Liz's and mine, who's a captain in the Carborough Police Department, came forward to us in October last year and said, you know, we're having a baby shower for women who might not otherwise have the financial wherewithal to get car seats for their newborns. So when we brought it forward to Felix, it's like that. He said, absolutely, we will pay for car seats. So we participated in an event for the baby shower that Carborough had. And you know, we didn't stop there. So when Celisa LaHue, our police chief, said, gosh, you know, we could use some car seats because when my care team goes out to the community and we're helping, you know, is there, you know, we could just use some car seats. Again, without hesitation, Felix said 10 car seats. And I was actually at the police department last night, not because I was being incarcerated for anything, or I wasn't getting Brian, my other half, out of jail. It was because there's the police academy going on right now. So as a member of the community, we can all participate in the police academy and get a better appreciation on what's going on and their role in our community. And they were most appreciative. And I got a picture of all of the car seats, the 6 that have not yet been deployed, but they were most appreciative. Then there are a few other things that we've been working on. And, you know, we've heard a little bit about the challenges that we've had in Western North Carolina. Well, Christy has been a real focal point for us in really getting things going, whether it's the newer, lightly used books. I think we collected like over 350 of those. And then, you know, when we talk about scarves and gloves and other things. So we have raised those. And then, as we know, we were hit locally here with Tropical Storm Chantel. And these are just some pictures of Eastgate Shopping Center the next day when Brian and I were out doing some litter pickup. And so many people found their own homes underwater and needing to find another place to stay. And so the call went out, and it was Dr. Joe Jenkins, along with Shipley, his wife, who said we could really use some blankets and a whole range of other things to help these poor victims. And I'll tell you, it was like in a matter of a couple of hours that people in this club came together and delivered to Joe, who then took it all over to the police department. So some extraordinary things. And then the ones that are coming up, we know Martin Luther King Day, and Christy's helping lead that charge. We have a blood drive, and Bob Ostrom suggested that we do that. That will be in March. We also have our international project in the Dominican Republic, which is going to be the 7th through the 14th. And then we also have some late breaking news that Liz actually submitted a request for to the district for a shovel-ready project in Western North Carolina aimed at transforming the Big Ivy Community Center into a long-term resilience hub. And the recommendation that went forward just the other evening to put solar panels and to have a unit to be able to then collect that power because it is so susceptible to challenges in losing electricity. So with that, let me hand it over to the press. Thank you, press.
Thank you, Nina, for that comprehensive analysis, and thank you everybody for your service. Today, as you know, we are honored to welcome our district governor, Lisa. Lisa brings a lot of tremendous energy and dedication to Rotary's mission, and we are grateful for his leadership and support. So, this is Lisa will be here today to induct 2 members and welcome 1 member from Hillsborough. So without much ado, let's give a warm welcome to our Governor Lisa.
That picture's really screaming at me. Just jumps off of it. I know. I'm there now, yes.
Is it working? Yes, it's working.
Thank you very much. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I will tell you that I'm blown away by that presentation. That was terrific. And I've had such an amazing experience so far this year, visiting our clubs and seeing in person what everyone is doing. I'm blown away. As I've shared and will continue to share, my message for this year is to embrace your passion. And I just saw it, and I just love it. And this is why we do Rotary, right? Because we have all of these opportunities and all of these things that are so important to us, that we're able to take care of our community and make a difference in this world. And that's what Rotary is all about. And I'm just grateful beyond belief for this opportunity to serve as governor, but really just to be part of this community in a bigger way. So I did, I went through and before every club visit I go and I pull social media, and y'all have great social media, so kudos to your social media team. But being able to see all of this, I love the Merry Christmas and all of the celebration and everything that you're doing. My presentation basically is not one of those really boring charts and graphs kind of thing. It's more of a journey. It's more of a story, because I think that's what we relate to, right? My journey from being a new Rotarian back in 2010 to being in the position to serve as district governor, and really the couple of years of training that we go through to be district governor has just been an incredible ride. And I wanted to share that journey with you. Pictured on the slide is President Francesco Arezzo, our Rotary International president this year. Got to meet him at convention in Calgary back in June. Very interesting person, very much a service-minded individual. But things that he talked about really resonated with me. One of those was that he wanted to take off the mask and share his authentic self. And I really think that that's the way we need to be, not just as in a position of being an RI president, but even as being a member of the club. You know, when we share our journey and what things that are important to us, things that are happening at home, things that are happening with our children, we share it with our community and we're more connected, right? And this particularly affected me when, during my journey to become district governor in December of 2023, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. 3 days before Christmas. I don't recommend a diagnosis 3 days before Christmas, just saying. But that was the first major thing that really happened in my life that I just didn't know what to do. And I can tell you that, God has a plan, and I think his plan was to teach me to be more authentic, maybe, to share my life, my journey with the people around me. And I can also tell you that that's how I understood what Family of Rotary was all about. Now, Stephanie Urchick, past president Stephanie Urchick, used to always, and still does, when she makes a presentation, the first thing she does is welcome Family of Rotary. And what is that Family of Rotary? Well, that was my club that came around me when I got that diagnosis and didn't know where to go. It was the district leadership, then District Governor Veronica Bent was right there for me. And we were really, my husband and I sat there just not knowing what was going on. My club came around me, they delivered meals. I don't like to fuss, I don't like to ask for help. Well, they weren't taking no for an answer. And I am so grateful for that. And I'm grateful for all of the Rotarians that I met along the way that obviously cared. And that's what Family of Rotary is all about, and why this journey is so important. Embrace your passion. That's my message. It's my belief of the Rotary. Our presidential message is Unite for Good, and I think that goes right in hand with Embrace Your Passion. Because I think when we're serving those areas that we care about, when we embrace those passion points, we are more invested. And I believe that new members for Rotary, instead of worrying about what the number is, don't care about the number. What we care is about having members who are invested, who are going to join us on our service projects, who are going to help pick up trash, or serve at the table, serve at the SECU house, or SECU house. Those are the people that we want as members. And on your tables, I put out postcards for the district conference, but on the back side of that postcard, I've just listed some of the grants that we've done in this district in the last year. And these are all passion points for a lot of different individuals. So I would say that when you're inviting somebody to breakfast or somebody to lunch or come to a meeting, and you share with them what we do, I can assure you that their passions are going to fall in some of those areas. And when they find out that we're already serving in that area, of course they want to be a part of it. You can get excited about it. I saw that community in your slides of your friends and members that were on those service projects who were picking up trash or doing whatever service was going on. You care about each other. That is the Family of Rotary, and that is the journey. And so I encourage you to embrace that passion, and we will deliver even more to our communities. My journey started with this group of people up here, and these are the governors for our North Carolina districts. We have 6 districts in North Carolina, and then we have a district in South Carolina, and we all come together in March when we do Carolina Pets, President-elect training. And so that's where our journey began and our training began. And I will tell you that these 7 people are now family. We are so close. And when I got that diagnosis, my phone blew up because it was these people caring. And they actually, what I found out later was they were really worried that I was going to pull out, because that was my first thought. I said to Veronica, I said, what am I going to do? I don't know what this means. Now I'm finding out that I'm going to have chemo. We don't know what chemo's going to do. You hear all the horror stories. Well, I was blessed. And other than the week that I did chemo, I was kind of wobbly that week. But other than that, I worked the entire time, and I was fine the entire time. I did lose my hair, but it's back, and I'm so grateful. That was a big thing for me. But it was an incredible journey. And I just learned so much during that whole phase. One of the things that happened during that time also was Hurricane Helene. And that's why Western North Carolina has been a big focus for this year. Because we all came together, and our governor, now it's Governor Alpo Portelli, he is the governor in Western North Carolina right now. And he led the logistics part of the recovery. He's an ex-Army guy, so he was perfect for logistics. But the rest of us, we just came up and we're like, Alpo, what do you need? What can we do? Because this was families that got washed away, houses that got washed away. People in the mountains, as I was saying to the board earlier, if I had a house in the mountains, I wouldn't have flood insurance. Why would you have flood insurance in the mountains? You know, so many people lost everything, and they're still waiting. They're still waiting. And we are doing everything that we can to deliver. And we sent thousands of books to Western North Carolina. And I will tell you, my favorite thing at Christmas this year, the best gift that I got, was I got 2 boxes of these notes from children in Western North Carolina that had colored this. And it makes me want to cry just, you know, when I open that box and you get this thing, Rotary, thank you for our books. You know, I mean, it's a heart jerker. And you talk about passion and all of these. This was the best Christmas present I got. And this was the result of what our clubs did and what we did. We brought them those books. And then at the same time, we delivered the hats and the gloves and the scarves. And then I had a second wave of hats and gloves and scarves that got delivered to my office. So then I had a Rotarian in the North Raleigh Club that was going to Asheville. His daughter lived in Asheville. He was going for Christmas, and he took that with him. And I was so grateful for that. Just being able to make, you know, it's not a big lift. The books, that's not a huge ask. But we have also done things like we've gone and built a footbridge in the Blue Ridge Assembly that got decimated. Western North Carolina, recovery in Western North Carolina is going to cost $60 billion. And it's going to take years upon years to get done. So this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's ongoing, it's been ongoing, and it will continue to go along. And our Rotarians have answered that call, and I'm grateful and proud for every single bit of it. This was kind of my reasoning. As I thought about Rotary, and you know, as you're training to be a governor, so you're supposed to think about the whole process and how does it all tie together. And I thought about the Rotary vision statement, where we come together and we create change, lasting change in ourselves, in our communities. But that word, together, was the first word and the most powerful word in that vision statement. And it's just like President Francesco's message to Unite for Good. We partner with other clubs. It's not a us versus them, or we're bigger than they are. It's a how can we work together to serve our communities and make a difference. The whole Western North Carolina thing, when I get questions many times from people that say, why is Rotary doing this over on this other side of the world when we've got things going on in our backyard that we could be taking care of? Well, because we have 1.2 million Rotarians around the world, and if it affects them, it affects us. But in this case, in this particular case, this is our backyard. So we were drawn to, and we had to support the rebuilding of Western North Carolina. And I'm so appreciative and proud of our clubs for coming together and doing this. And this embrace your passion, it weaves together with all of it. Just like I said to you, when you invite somebody and they see what you're passionate about and what you're doing in your area, they're going to do more. And this is how we build membership and we build community. So I'm going to take you on this journey, and it begins with the Rotary Foundation. And I want to congratulate this club because in just a little over 50 years this club has been around, you've donated more than $1 million to the Rotary Foundation. So that's a big applause So what was explained to me about the Rotary Foundation is that the Rotary Foundation allows ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And I can relate to that, because I'm probably in that whole slideshow of the building wealth, I'm at the 0 point. I can tell you that. You know, owning a small business, yeah, it just doesn't, it's not conducive to the building wealth part. But the Rotary Foundation, every minute, somebody is drinking clean water because you donated to the Rotary Foundation, right? Every minute, somebody is being impacted and somebody's not having to haul a 5-gallon bucket up the mountain or a, you know, big vase or something so that their family can wash. They're getting clean water. Christy has been amazing leading our grants committee, and we're so grateful for her. And this is the Rotary Foundation. When we donate to the annual fund share, that money comes back to our district in 3 years. And this is like, unlike other charities, I don't know of another charity that gives money back and tells you, here, what do you want to do with it? That you can do the projects in your community, back to us. So it's extremely important to donate to the Rotary Foundation. And it allows us to do so much more by doing that. And let's talk about polio when we're talking about the Rotary Foundation. Late 80s, when Rotary decided that it was going to eradicate polio, and other groups looked at Rotary and said, who do you think you are that you're going to eradicate a disease, right? There were 350,000 cases of polio. Well, Rotary started, and pretty soon other groups came on board. We now have the Gates Foundation, which multiplies our money 2 to 1, and so many other groups. At the International Assembly just this week, another couple in India came up and said they were donating just themselves $50 million to polio. We have had those kind of commitments to polio. There are 39 cases left, 350,000 to 39. The polio affects children mainly under the age of 5. And so if you can imagine children, and I've heard Lynn Carpenter talk about this for years, and it always gave me chills, when she visited and saw children pulling themselves through the streets with their elbows because their legs didn't work. This is a promise that we made to the world as Rotary, that we're going to abolish this disease. We are going to eradicate it, and we are going to continue this fight, and we're going to make it happen. And our questions, of course, with changes in administration and all of that kind of thing, and how does it affect funding? Rotary's answer is, we started this on our own. We'll finish this on our own if we have to. And fortunately, we don't have to, because we have those partners that believe in it. But we do have to continue this fight. And ladies and gentlemen, it takes less than $3 to protect a child for life. $3. So we set a goal for our district. I believe the goal this year altogether is $75,000. But I asked one of the district Rotary people, what does that boil down to? Because when you have a big club, typically big clubs, they're looking at $1,500 from the club for the year. But it boils down to about $40 a person, basically. Because you have clubs that have 10 members. They're not going to be able to easily come up with $1,500. It's just a number that we shoot for as a district to continue this venture. And we are currently about 50% of the way there with our goals this year. So once again, polio, $3 for a child for life. We are sitting in a position where we are very well endowed as far as our lives, whether we think so or not. At whatever point we are, $3. We can do this. So this is another area that is a very big passion point for me. And I'd like to introduce you to two people that meant the world to me. And this is my Aunt Ann and my Uncle Pete. And so as you can see, back in the day, they were quite dashing. And they were a love story for the ages, I guess. But my aunt could light up the room with her smile, and my uncle loved to sing. He also did a great Donald Duck imitation that even into my 30s, when I would call him up and he would talk to me like Donald Duck, I would just crack up. It was so funny. But in her early 50s, my Aunt Ann started to be forgetful. And pretty soon we realized that she had Alzheimer's. And so for the next 13 years, my Uncle Pete was by her side, taking care of her, making sure that she didn't get shoved away in a corner, and she had a great quality of life for whatever that was. And we watched this lady that used to be able to light up a room with a smile just crumble with this awful disease. So I'm really passionate about CART, Coins for Alzheimer's Research Trust. This is not a Rotary International project, but this was started by a Rotarian in South Carolina. Back in the day when we had pocket change, some of us remember that, and they would put those buckets on the table and people would throw their change into it. Well, just like the Rotary Foundation is rated 4-star in Charity Navigator, so is CART, because 100% of the money collected for CART goes to research. And so you have on the one side all of our projects where we're supporting the caregivers, and we need to, because it's a very hard job. But on the other side, we need the research, because we need to eradicate this disease. And so wouldn't it be amazing if in our lifetime, much like children these days, and even teenagers and stuff, and you mentioned polio to them, and they're like, what's that? Wouldn't it be amazing if they didn't know what Alzheimer's was? If we could make this happen. And so I'm asking all the Rotarians in our district to consider donating $20 to CART. That's it. You know, we're setting the bar low, but that money goes to research, 100% of it. And I would love to see us eradicate this disease. And so I would thank you if you would consider contributing to that cause. Another passion point are our peace centers. You all are very well aware of it because one of them is based right here in our district. I refer to it as the Duke UNC Peace Center because I am a Duke graduate, so don't throw anything at me. My husband asked me on the way here when we hit Chapel Hill and was making sure that I could still breathe because the air is Carolina blue and I do bleed Duke blue. Sorry. And it is basketball season, so maybe I should hide behind the podium here. Anyway, but the Rotary Peace Center is such a blessing, and we have the only peace center in the North and South Americas, the only one. So these students that come here, very competitive program, and we've been blessed to be able to host these students and to have Peace Fellows as our family and our family for life. And you know, these are just pictures with Diana, the student we hosted from Peru. And our current Peace Fellows are from Ethiopia, and they're amazing. But the thing about the Peace Center and about all of these people is they are so committed to peace in this world and to making a difference. And I'm just always amazed at what they're doing. And we need to support the Peace Center. We do as a district. We are a Peace Builder district. $25,000 of that money that comes back to us goes to the Peace Center. We also raise additional funds for the Peace Center. If you have not been to a Peace Center conference, I strongly recommend it. It's always the first or second weekend in April. This year it's going to be April 11th. And it is an amazing experience. The first one Jeff and I went to, there was a young man from Gaza, and it gives me chills every time to hear his story, and we were hooked from that time forward. It is an amazing program, and this is all part of us. As Rotarians, we are all part of the Rotary Foundation. We contribute to the Rotary Foundation, Foundation sponsors the Peace Center, and I just love it. The other thing that I'm very passionate about is our Rotary Youth Exchange program, and we don't do enough with this. And it's really hard, because it's hard to find peace, host families for our youth exchange students, because unlike the students that we host with the Peace Center, and they have their own houses, the young kids come, and we're hosting currently a young man from, I think he's from Brazil. But I've been to districts where they'll have 27 youth exchange students at conference, and they're all dancing around and having a great time. And they've got those blazers that when they leave home, it doesn't have anything on it, but at this point, halfway through their year, it's covered with pins and all of these kind of things. But Jeff and I have been privileged to host 3 or 4 youth exchange students to this point. And I'll tell you that my youth exchange student in Brazil, she's now married. She had a child about 3 years ago, and she still calls me on my WhatsApp and calls me mom to this day. And so now I have a Brazilian grandchild that I expect I will get to go see at some point. This is a Rotary program, and it's such a blessing. And being involved with Interact clubs and sharing that message with those Interact clubs, because a lot of times there's children in our schools that would love to travel but have no idea that they can do this. It might be a financial hardship. Let me tell you that we have generous donors in our district, and when we send a child on youth exchange, that's where the seeds of peace are planted. When you can take a child and put them in a culture where they are unfamiliar. When Lily was in Ecuador, this is our daughter, this is her host family in Ecuador, her family did not speak English. She had high school Spanish. We all know how great high school Spanish is. Does not work. But yet, she managed, and she grew a whole group of different family members from all over the world, because when Jeff and I went towards the end of her exchange to visit, and we took all of them to the equivalent of a Starbucks down there. And of course, as soon as the students found out that we were paying, they immediately grabbed the menu again and ordered the most expensive thing. And the good thing about some of these countries, in this case Ecuador, is that I think for 14 students plus the 2 of us, I maybe spent about $35. So if I was in Starbucks, I would be washing dishes. Anyway, the whole point of it is that we care about peace. We're trying to promote peace in the world. Our youth exchange students are the best place to start, because when we take a young child and give them this opportunity, we are changing their life. Hopefully you've heard about the Ignite app, because it's something the district is paying for this year. It's something we're trying to do to give better access to DAC-DB, which is not nearly as user-friendly, but there's a lot of things that you can do with it. You can do your giving on it, you can pay your bills on it, you can see where your standing is in the Rotary Foundation. You can easily access the members of your clubs and send them text messages or call them up. It's a great app. If you haven't downloaded it, please download it. I'm hurrying. And this is my little summary slide as far as when I said before about sharing your authentic self and letting people know who you are. We do this to build community and build that family of Rotary in our clubs. And so sharing with my club how I'm a Margaritas girl, or Feet in the Sand is my happy place, which of course leads to my district conference. All of these things, my classmates as a Rotary governor and my Peace Fellows and everything, it's sharing my authentic self and letting people understand what it is that I'm passionate about and what drives me. I'm going to go ahead and skip over that one, sorry, because I have to get to the district conference. And I'm encouraging a group of you to come to district conference. It's going to be so much fun. We're only 90 days away. We've got a group of volunteers that already showed up on the call last night, but We are oceanfront on the Crystal Coast in Atlantic Beach, and we have so many things planned, and it's all about passion and all about these. We've got some great speakers coming. I'm super excited about it. We are all about having some fun. If any of you know Becca Smith and Tia Kopis, it's going to be an amazing conference, but we are just very, very excited, and hopefully take one of the save the dates on your tables, and please register and join us at conference. And I hope you also picked up one of the pins that I left it by your name tags and everything. So thank you guys very much for this time. Yeah.
Sorry, we are running short of time, but if you can, just stick around for a few minutes to just induct our new members. Thank you for those who can be able to stay back.
All right, so quickly this time, if I could call up Paige Gravely and Charlotte White. All right. James Bryan also. Welcome. Come on, join us.
So he's on.
I think I've got my speaker on. Yes, I do. So I want to be, it's a great honor as a district governor to welcome new members and even transferring members to this family of Rotary that's 1.2 million members strong, where service above self is what drives us, and making a difference in our community and building peace is what we contribute to the world. And you have joined an amazing club, a strong, large club that, by all of the numbers that we saw on the slides before, is making an incredible impact in the world. So welcome to the family of Rotary, and they have a package for you with your pin probably, and thank you for joining this club. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone, and have a nice weekend.
Yeah, I'm turning it off.